practicing being creative, right? So taking the C major scale that we're practicing and working on. Yo, what's up guys? So I think we all try to do a lot of things, try to practice, try to learn scales, but I think it's very, very important to always create music, right? So even when we're just, learning C major or just the scale itself, and we talked about it the last couple of vlogs about just zooming in and trying to see all the information within C major scale. We spoke about 5 positions and we did some rhythmic exercise and just visually trying to see it clearly and to hear these elements. So when we're practicing these things, I think it's super important at the same time being creative, right? And trying to create and using these elements to, express something that you care about, right? So music, I guess we don't need a lot to express and create with. That means like, C major scale can be a universe for us to create with, and yeah, we might want to play a we might want to play some ideas that are more chromatic and more complex than just C major, but it's not necessary. I mean, we can create a lot with C major and express a lot of ideas, emotions, and feelings, right? So music is basically, using these templates, these languages, these dialects, or however you want to call it, and expressing something. So for me, when I, work with C major, I just want to express something, and I want to practice that expression as well. So what I want to do today is I want to give you guys, I'll make a backing track that will have, there's going to be a Dropbox link on this video at the description, and I'm just going to play 2-3 chords in C major, something like right, so what I want you guys to do is to start practicing being creative, right? So taking the C major scale that we're practicing and working on and seeing the visual content and hearing the notes and understanding how the notes relate to each other and really hearing all the relationships and all the stuff that we're working on, but also at the same time being creative and saying, okay, great, so I'm working, on thirds. Great, but now how do I put it in context, right? So it's great that I can play but what do I do with this when I actually need to play? So great that I can play these ideas on scales, but now I need to make music. So I think one of the most important elements in music is repetition. So repetition creates context, right? I think this is also one of the reasons that when we're listening to pentatonic scale that have basically 5 notes, right, without the blue note right now, so the repetition is very high, so it sounds familiar very fast, even faster than C major scale that have, C major has 7 notes, right, in basic major. So the point is that repetition creates context in harmonic, melodic, and rhythmic way, so we can use that a lot to express. So one of the things that I want to do is just taking simple ideas, but simple ideas that are locked in time, and the grid, the framework that we're going to utilize is C major, like C major scale. Again, talking about those 5 positions that we spoke about, and we see them. This is the building blocks. These are the building blocks for our music and solo right now, and we're going to find melodies within those parameters, right? So what I want you guys to do is take that, take the backing track that I made for you guys, actually gonna make it, and work with it. So, try to take something very simple, like we're gonna take one idea that is super, super simple. I'm just gonna repeat it a bunch of times. So, just like that. Right, so what I would do, I would take a metronome or a groove or both, like some click, maybe a drum thing, and harmonic content like these 3 chords, and I'm gonna try to play that using and kind of lock it and be super clear about the placement that I would do rhythmically. What I would also do, I would take that phrase, for example, if I'm working on this phrase, and I would try to play it in perfect repetition, which is not easy as well, and I would try to make it feel good, right? So I would play it in different tempos, for example. So what I would do, I would play, this is 90 BPM for example. So I'm gonna play the same phrase much slower. This is 73, and try to lock in. You can play it with me. So I would call this A, right? So what I would do later, so first I guess I would lock A and I would try it in different tempos. So let's try one more tempo. I would go right, so now I can change A, right? Like I kind of accidentally did that, so I was really hearing that change, right? I took only one note instead of that again, so I went to another note. So we can take a basic phrase and get a lot of juice, a lot of information, a lot of variables. While we change one thing, we can get a lot of new ideas from that, right? So we can change the melody, we can change, one note of the melody, the last one, the first one, something in the middle, but kind of keep the whole format, or we can change something in the rhythm. So we can do a lot of things, and what I wanted to do right now is just like kind of lock into something and try to make it feel good. This is 80 BPM. Again, I'm just going to play the phrase. I'm going to change it. Right, so these are three variables, three sentences that I played, but they're all pretty much A tag, A tag, kind of, right? So this is basically, the notes are G, A, C, but I'm kind of playing a slide here, and then going to the E. Right, and this is a very, it's a very, very basic thing, but the thing is, like, music sounds good, right? If you just do, just play a chord or just play one note, hopefully if it's in tune, it sounds good. So we don't need to do a lot to make it sound good. We actually need to do less, right? Of course, with different styles of music, the complexity could be high, and then we might need to know and understand how to deal with those more complex ideas. But just to make something sound good, we don't need a lot. So the point is, when you're sewing or you want to create a song, write a song or solo, you can just take a very, very basic and simple idea, basic in a good way, just a fundamental concept that you're like, I'm taking 2-3 notes, I'm going to lock them down and make it sound good. And by doing that, I'm creating these building blocks musically that I can use and utilize and change them, right? It's, again, like a language. I don't know all the words in the English dictionary, but I can express using the words that I know and reorganize them, reorder them to create new meaningful ideas, hopefully. So it's the same thing. I need to know C major well. I need to know the basics really, really strongly and understand and hear it. And the process is really, building these elements, building phrases, understanding the basic building blocks and how they fit in together. And of course, different styles of music would have different dialects, different rhythmic articulation, and so on and so forth. But I think, again, we're talking about the beginning of improvisation. In that sense, using these building blocks and making everything lock is super important. So please, just take your time, you know, listen to what you're doing and try to create something that sounds good to you. Another thing that I would do, take the track that that you can just download, play with it and record yourself. Maybe I would do a video, and then I would try to listen to it and try to kind of think what sounds good about it. I would do 4 columns. I would write, you know, I would write things that I like, things that I don't like, things that I need to work on, and things that I need to take out. So you know, trying to improvise. And again, I know this is maybe for some of you the first steps, maybe for some of you are more advanced, so that would be more meaningful exercise. But if you have some experience in soloing, and I think a lot of the time soloing is basically editing real time, right? It's kind of real time editing almost. So when you're practicing it, you can really think about these elements, say, okay, you know, I don't like it when I do this, or I do like when I, you know, the guitar sound, or like whatever it is that you like I like how I start a solo really soft and build a dynamic. Great. I don't like that I'm using that G all the time when the chord is XYZ, right? So just like listen and find things that you do like, find things that you don't like, find things that you need to work on, right? So every time I'm playing this try thing, I'm always messing it up. I need to work on that. What am I doing? So on and so forth. Things that I want to take out, you know, between chords, I always do this like weird slide. I don't like it. It doesn't sound good. I don't need to play it. Done. It's out, right? So these elements really help. So let me know if this is helpful. Please comment, please subscribe, please send this to a friend that might dig it, and yeah, let's talk soon. Thanks guys.